Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. So, welcome to our today's class. And today we are going to study Petals of Blood summary. Okay. Uh, so, at the beginning of the novel, we see four characters: Munira, Kariga, Abdullah, and Wanja are questioned about the triple murder of three notable Kenyan businessmen, Kimeria, Mjigo, and Chui. It means that these three notable Kenyan businessmen were killed, and these four persons, Munira, Karega, Abdullah, and Wanja, are questioned about the murder. As they answer the authorities' question, the novel is told primarily in flashback, going back 12 years to when these four characters, that means Munira, Karega, Abdullah, and Wanja, these four characters first came to the village of Morok. Morok, the name of the village. It is set in the post-independence period, 1963. And those some of the characters' memories and stories go back further. So we know earlier in the previous class that this novel was published in 1977 and Kenya got independence from British colonial power in 1963 and Mau Mau revolution started in uh, 1940. Okay, so this is the beginning of the novel. So at the time of the revolution and after the revolution, the four characters Munira, Karega, Abdullah, and Wanja. Munira is male, female, male. Karega is male, Abdullah is male, but Wanja is female. These are the four main characters. So the story starts with the flashback. Munira arrived at Ilmorok. As we know, Ilmorok is the name of a village and it is the setting of this novel to teach school children. While he came from a wealthy Christian family, he chafed under his father's strictness and wanted to strike out on his own. It means that Monira's father was a bad-tempered person and Monira was not happy with his father and family, and for this reason, he came over here in this village, Ilmorok, to have a new occupation or profession, okay, after Kenya's independence. Abdullah and his adopted son, Joseph. Abdullah, another character, another important character in this novel, and he has an adopted a son. His name is Joseph, came to Ilmorok for a new start. And Abdullah opened a bar and a shop. Bar and a shop. Wanja came to the village to stay near her grandmother, Nana Kinua, Nana Kinua, a respected old woman, and began working for Abdullah's as a barmaid. So Wanja came in this village in Morocco to stay with her grandmother, and her name is Nana Kinua, and she is a respected older woman in this village. She pushed for Joseph to start school, and as she uh, had to leave school before finishing, Karega sought a new opportunity as well, hoping to connect with Munira as the two had a shared past. Here, the two characters, Karega and Munira, they had been studying in a same school. And for this reason, Karega started teaching in Monira's school in this village, Ilmoro. These four new arrivals, that means Karega, Monira, Abdullah, and Wanja, become friends and settled into the village because their motive was same. After Kenya's independence, what to do? That was their notion. And for this reason, for many reasons, they left their house and home and came to this place, Ilmoro, to settle down. Monira and Wanja made love one night and he became obsessed with her, though she wanted to remain platonic. Wanja wanted to be a mother, and for this reason, there was a clue over here that is with her grandmother. Wanja went to a soothsayer. Uh, he told that Wanja can be pregnant if she pass a night in a full moon with a person. And for this reason, Wanja stayed a night with Monira, but uh, she and they were failed. Monira and Karaga explored part of their shared past. They are attending the elite school of Syriana, School of Syriana. So Monira and Karaga had been studying in a same school, an elite school, and that was in a place named Syriana. And how both were expelled due to the participation in strike. At the time of school, in their school days, Monira and Karaga had a strike, took part in a strike against the headmaster of that school, and for this reason they were expelled. Who? Monira and Karaga, because they had been in that strike. They both knew of a man named Chu, who had been a popular student during Monira's time, but was headmaster during Karaga's time, and proved himself to be a tool of the foreigner. Tool of the foreigner, most probably who attended the previous school, they can understand. That means after getting independence, the many elite person or many person worked for the British colonial power. Okay, so here Chui was like that. Chui had been studying in the same school in Syriana, but Chui next time became the headmaster of that school of Syriana. But Chui was not so good, even better than the previous headmaster. Wanja also spoke of her past as a prostitute and how she once had a child by Ria. Actually, the story started with the flashback, and everybody was telling in the chapter 2 that everybody was telling their past. So she had once a child by Kimeria, a businessman who seduced her, but it was no longer with her. And Wanja was seduced by a businessman. His name is Kimeria. And this Kimeria, and with that, Wanja became pregnant, and next time she left Kimeria. She desperately wanted to be a mother again, but didn't know if it was possible. Over time, Abdullah also revealed that had been a member of the Mau freedom fighter. So Abdullah next time told that he was also a member of the Mau freedom fighter or Mau rebellion. So this is Abdullah. So we see that is 4 characters: Wanja, Karega, Abdullah, and another characters. So these 4 characters had been living in this village. They have come to start a new life over there. Life in the village became increasingly difficult as the rains refused to come and the harvest uh, withered. Okay, that was abruptly it started the uh, season, harvesting season, but there was no rain, and for this reason they are not getting uh, good food and good harvest. They are not getting in the place more. So what to do? Many things said that Abdullah had a donkey. The donkey is an ominous sign, so this donkey should be killed, and they can be relieved for this uh, dry season. But they didn't do it. The local holy man could do nothing for them. So Karega suggested some of them travel to Nairobi, that is Kenya's capital, to meet with their MP Nideri wa Riera. So they had an MP. So Karega proposed to the villagers that they should go to their MP in Nairobi to uh, talk to him about the matter. That means the dry season in Ilmoro. According to their decision, they started their journey. That was a troublesome journey. The community agreed with this would be the only way to get help, and all of them decided to go. The journey was difficult, but there was a profound sense of togetherness and purpose. Abdullah was a veritable hero along the way, telling them stories of his days in the forest. It means that it becomes a journey. They had been going to Nairobi on foot, and it was very problematic journey over there. But that journey became enjoyable when Abdullah he started telling his life story, what he did in Mau Mau rebellion, what he did in his past. So Abdullah also lost one of his legs in Mau Mau rebellion, and Abdullah had an adopted son. Already you know that Joseph, and he had a donkey, and he started a bar and a shop in Ilmoro. So Abdullah had been taking, just like the Canterbury Tales. That at the time of the Canterbury Tales, that means the many characters started their story, and that story framed the plot of that Canterbury Tales, George's Canterbury Tales. In the same way, Abdullah's story make make uh, all the travelers happy. At the same time, that gave the clue of the plot of this novel. So sometimes Nana Kinua, that means one just grandmother, also spoke of the history of Ilmoro. So Ilmoro is a village, but it has a history before the British colonial power. So Nana Kinua started telling the story of Ilmoro before the British colonial power. Listening to her, Karega became more convinced that attention had to be paid to Kenya and Africa's glorious past before the colonizers came. So after listening the story told by Nana Kinua, Karega was encouraged that yes, we should encourage. Now Kenya has been independent, and for this reason, after getting the story of Nana Kinua, Kariga was encouraged that they should encourage their previous history. That means Kenya's previous history, Africa's glorious past. They should entertain, and they should discuss, and they should write about this. Unfortunately, when the weary travelers reached Nairobi, they encountered several less than helpful individuals, including the MP, began to despair that anything would change. So there the travelers went, and they started asking help from the local businessmen and others, and including the MP, but they didn't get any help. Okay, and why? MP was not ready to help them. However, uh, the MP framed charge. Why you have come here? What is your reason? What had been doing in Ilmorok? So several reasons they had been asking. That means the MP's people towards the travelers. That means who came from Ilmorok. Monira and Abdullah and Karega were detained for disturbing the peace and brought to trial. So Monira, Abdullah, and Karega, the three protagonists of this novel, they were brought to a trial. What is their charge? Their charge that they are disturbing the peaceful atmosphere of Nairobi, and were only saved by persuasive defense offered by a lawyer whom Wanja know. So after getting that, when Morina, Abdullah, and Karega was arrested, at that time Wanja had a relation with a lawyer. With the help of the lawyer, Morira, Abdullah, and Karega got released. Ironically, at this time, media attention brought to this courageous, good Samaritans. Okay, so at that time, because it is after the independence of Kenya, okay, so many people, they came from Ilmoro, they had a weary journey, and after that they were going several places for their help. That means their village has been dry, so they are not getting help. Rather, they were arrested, they were questioned, and they have been tortured by the local MPs and others. Okay. So all things got attention to media. So media started covering this news. That is the group of travelers come from that village and they are doing such kind of things. And when these village people, that means the Ilmoro village people, Monira, Karega, Abdullah, and Wanja, they got attention to media, resulted in numerous donations, free travel back to village, and there is growing interest in developing the village of tourism, but only to retain his own reputation. Okay. The MP, and they observed that, oh my God, these villages were getting intention, and for this reason, every people were interested to go to that village, Ilmoro, to see what's happening over there, and everything. And many people started donating their village. That means these village people, and many people went to that village to see the situation. So this village got media's attraction, and they had been getting donation from several places. Okay, so back in Ilmoro, the outside help coupled with the strong rains meant a banner season for the harvest. Okay, so media got attraction. Not only the media, the other businessmen and the other people attracted that village Ilmoro. So Ilmoro people was getting help, and at the same time that here they had rain and they had a good harvest. Everything was good. Wanja grew in beauty as she became immersed in cultivating the land. She and Karega became lovers after a powerful gathering at Nanakinua's, where the old women showed Wanja, Karega, Munira, Abdullah how to brew the potent drink Tengeda. Nanakinua, that means Wanja's grandmother, know how to brew a special drink, a special wine. That's name was Tengeda. She know. So this, whenever lots of tourists had coming to the village Ilmorok, so at that time Nana Kunia thought that yes, this is the time to introduce with their wine, that is Ilmorok village special wine, Tengeta. So this Tengeta was offered by this Ilmorok village people to the foreigner, or to the not foreigner, to the tourist. So Nana Kinua's wine, Tengeta, got also attraction by the tourist. That night was full of confusions and ruminations about the past. Okay, so the thing everything, every character, they had been getting the history of Kenya, uh, Kenya's past, especially the past of this village. Listening to Nana Kinuas and the meeting with the lawyer, sparked on Karega's increasing radicalization. Okay, so Karega increased his religious belief or political belief. He learned his brother, he learned. So at the time, what we see that they drink Thenketa, and after that, everybody started telling their past. Okay. And in their story, Karega learned that his brother was a Mau Mau companion of Abdullah's, but had been betrayed and hanged. Karega also knew that, learned that in this night's gathering. He took a position teaching school with Munira, but felt that the boys were not learning about the things that really matter. He took position in teaching school with Munira, but felt that the boys were not learning about the things and that really matter. So Karega started teaching over there and next time left. Munira had Karega dismissed due to his jealousy over Wanja, as well as Karega's revelation that he had been involved with Munira's sisters years back, and their love was the reason for her suicide. Munira was the chief of that school in Ilmoro. So Karega had been teaching over here. But in that night revelation, Munira understood that for the cause of Karega, Munira's sister committed suicide. So Karega was dismissed from the school. Karega left the village. Over time, the village modernized and changed due to the new colonial forces of investment, loans, infrastructures, and collusions between foreigners, African politicians, and the businessmen. So, Ilmorok became a place. Ilmorok became the king or became the place where we can portray the situation of Kenya. It became the place of many investors. Many foreign companies came there for loans. They offered loans. They are getting infrastructures, and also the division and the bargain between the foreigner and also the African politicians and the businessmen. So that was a place. The place became modernized and changed. It expanded and became a tourist destination for its Thengeta. We have learned that Thengeta is a wine brewed by Nana Kinua, Wanja's grandmother, and next time it got attraction by the tourists. Especially tourists would go to Ilmoro just to taste Thengeta. So with the modernized and changed atmosphere of Ilmoro, Ilmoro got tourist attraction also for the cause of Thengeta, a special kind of wine. Abdullah and Wanja started a successful bar. So with the help of Nana Kinua's Thengeta, Abdullah and Wanja started a successful bar. So next time we see that Wanja had a relation first time with Munira, next time Karega, and here Abdullah. Wanja first time he started working with Abdullah's bar and as a barmaid. Okay. And Munira became more of an outsider, staying in his teaching job, but lasting after Wanja. Munira, uh, Munira had a fascination for Wanja, but she couldn't say. Eventually, Karega returned after a year of traveling, looking for work, refining his communist views, He learned Nana Kinua had died a few days after hearing her land would be sold off since he could not pay the loans. She was bamboozled into taking out. Okay. We have observed that at the time of modernization of Ilmorok, many company came over here. And after the independence of Kenya, okay, uh, it is said that we have to get registration of your land. And Nana Kinua got some loan from that company. And Nana Kinua couldn't repay the loan. And for this reason, Nana Kinua's land has been confiscated or sold off. And after getting this shocking news, Nana Kinua had died. And Wanja and Abdullah sold their rights to the bar to MGGO. And not only that, Wanja and Abdullah, they had been successful in their bar, but they also took some loan. And also the local MP, MGGOs, they said that you are selling wine, but you don't have license. You have to got your license. So Wanja and Abdullah, they had to sold their rights to the bar to MGGO. MGGO, the local MP, he started that MGGO promptly, and an education officer and the businessman, MGGO, she could buy her grandmother's land, and MGGO promptly kicked out them. So MGGO kicked out Wanja and Abdullah, and also MGGO bought Wanja's grandmother's land. Wanja then started a whole house, the Sunshine Laws. The name of the house is Sunshine Laws. That is a whole house, which attracted elite clients like MGGO, Chui, and Chimera. We know that these three characters, MGGO, Chui, and Chimera, they are the antagonists. And the four characters, Abdullah, Wanja, Karega, and Monira, they are the protagonists. They are the good characters, and these three are the bad characters. That is MGGO, Chui, and Chimera. All of whom were in African directors of the new Thiong'o brewery. So after getting Wanja and Abdullah's bar, MGGO, Chui, and Chimera start a new bar and gave a name, that is Thiong'o Company and Thiong'o Brewery, and they became the African directors. So Nana Kinua lost her lands. Abdullah and Wanja, they lost their business position, bar, everything. By whom? By the local directors, the Kenyan, that is MGGO, Chui, and Chimera. Previously, this Kenya was seduced by the foreigners, but after the independence, these Kenyan people, Wanja's grandmother, Abdullah, they were also tortured and seduced by MGGO, Chui, and Chimera, that is the African directors, that is the Kenyan directors. That is the reality. Monira was restless and unhappy and turned to Christian fanaticism. He was convinced he needed to save Karega from Wanja and from his dangerous ideas. Okay. Monira, now next time, actually, we know that Wanja started a wood house. Monira became a religious person. And for this reason, Monira wouldn't think it right for Wanja to start the wood house. And for this reason, Monira would observe what's happening in that wood house. Monira was convinced that he needed to save Karega from Wanja and from his dangerous ideas, Karega and Wanja. Abdullah languished after the bar closed and Wanja started her wood house. His only joy was that Joseph was doing well in school. Okay, so Abdullah was in a pitiable condition. Abdullah had to sell his bar, but he had only hope that his adopted son Joseph had been studying well in a school. Soon, he and Wanja became lovers, and she finally conceived a child. So that is the thing happening in the ending portion of this novel. Karega had planned a massive strike, and Mjigo, Chui, and Kimera made to consider the demand. So Karega had a plan against these three antagonists of this novel, Mjigo, Chui, and Kimera. They then went to Wanja's house, where she installed them each in different rooms. So Karega and Wanja, uh, Wanja's house, Wanja put these three businessmen, that is Mjigo, Chui, and Kemira, in a different rooms. They would talk in different ways. And actually, in the whole house, many businessmen and the local elites had been visiting at that house, Wanja's house. She killed Kemiria with a weapon. So putting these three men together, that is Kemiria, Chui, and Mjigo, first time, Wanja killed Kemiria with a weapon. That means with a weapon. And no one knew, since Monida decided to set the whole house on fire that night. Okay, so Wanja had another plan. That is, he will be setting fire on this whorehouse, that is the Sunshine Lodge. Abdullah was also there. So Abdullah was inside the whorehouse, planning to seek revenge on the man who had wronged him. And Wanja, he got there in time only to save someone from the burning building. So at the end of the novel, the inspector conducting the interviews discovered it is Monira. He said he is set for a trial. So actually, Monira set fire on this house. Karega is still detained, but hopeful that the strike and the resistance against the forces keeping regular Kenyan down will endure. And Wenja is filled with hope because she can feel Abdullah's child in her home. So this is the novel in short. So novel started with the four men, that is Abdullah, Karega, and Munira and Wanja. They went to a village, Ilmorok, for their new beginning. And at that time, at the ending of the portion, we have seen that these three men, Kimiria, Mjigu, and Chiu, they were killed in a whorehouse, and the authorities were questioning or investigating this four men. And we have, after that, with the help of the flashback, we have got Kenya's history, the history of Ilmoro, the history of Oanja, history of Monira, Karega, and Abdullah. Okay, so this is the story in brief. That is the petals, petals of blood. Okay. And